The collapse of the stock exchange had spread like wildfire in New York. Thousands of people streamed to Wall Street, fearing for their shares.
The law of gravity hit Wall Street today, and financial markets around the world for that matter, as stock prices plunged even more than they did on Black Tuesday of 1929.
Start trading here now. There's 79s are trading. You got 79s trading here now. Once again, 78s are trading. 6s are trading.
Not in generations has Wall Street absorbed the number of body blows it took today.
The American financial system is rocked to its foundation as top Wall Street institutions topple under a mountain of debt.
Okay, so let's talk about picking stocks. If you're going to invest wisely, it is extremely important that you understand what you're doing when you pick your stocks. Now, when I say picking stocks, I mean if you're literally going to be using Trading 212, Free Trade, Robinhood, and companies like that. Essentially, you are making the choice, you're taking the decision of the companies that you want to put your money in. You have control over the entire process. What that essentially means is that you're not going to be using the services of a money box or someone like that to build a portfolio in which you invest in, and they make the decisions on the companies that that your money essentially goes into. With that said, it's really important to understand what you're doing when you pick companies. And on this channel, I want to be as honest as possible with you guys and share my experiences, because it's not just about you learning about what I'm doing right now. It's more about learning from some of the things that I've learned, and certainly some of the things that I wish that I didn't do so that you guys don't make those same mistakes. So when I talk about shares, buying individual companies, I'm going to talk specifically about some of the shares that I own. I'm going to talk about one in particular because I bought the company, I bought the shares because I really do believe in the company and I did my research on them. So the first thing that you need to understand is you need to understand why you're buying that company. Why are you buying the shares in said company? It could be Facebook, it could be Amazon, it could be Microsoft, it could be any company. Why are you buying that company? That needs to stay at the heart of everything you do in terms of the research, everything, because your why should tie into your goal at the beginning. If you take my investment course, I talk a lot about this. The investor psychology starts with your why. What is your goal? What is your objective? The why behind you buying a particular stock will be informed by your goal and by your objective. So if you follow me here on YouTube, or you found me on Instagram from these videos here on YouTube, then you will know that I own a Tesla and I also own Tesla stock. And I want to talk to you about why I bought Tesla stock, because this will explain my why to you and hopefully will give you some kind of insights into the kind of things that you need to consider if you are going to be buying shares in, say, companies like Tesla, Facebook, and so on and so forth. Now, please, guys, do not take this as financial advice. I'm simply sharing my experience, my reasons why I bought Tesla. It doesn't mean that it's going to be the right reason for you, but it certainly fed a lot into my research. And hopefully what you'll see in my story about this is that I didn't just buy Tesla stock because it was a trending thing or it was a trending company, a company that people are talking about. I didn't just buy it because I had a gut feeling. I bought it because I truly believe in what the business has to offer and what the goal of the business is moving forward, what they're looking to achieve. They're looking to change the world. I believe in that mission. I've had the car for 5 years, so wholeheartedly I believe what they're doing and what they want to achieve. So I'm going to start off with a quote by Warren Buffett, because that is extremely important and something you need to bear in mind. I've owned my Tesla now for 5 years, and one thing that this car has definitely given me the opportunity to learn is it's enabled me to learn a lot about Tesla, the business, how it works, what their goals are. Being part of the owners forum means that I have information all the time that us as enthusiasts talk about in terms of development, technological advances that are coming with these vehicles. And when you're picking stock or you want to invest in the company, it's really important for you to consider these key things. And I want to share this with you because of the things that I've learned. They persuaded me to buy Tesla stock. I didn't just buy Tesla stock the day that I bought the car. I bought them many, many years after I actually owned the car. So I'm going to try and break this down into really simple points for you guys to basically take on board. And I hope this forms some kind of basis for you to do your own research. Again, this is not financial advice. Just because I bought Tesla shares doesn't mean that you should go out and buy Tesla shares. So what was the first thing that attracted me to Tesla? First thing really was the product. Okay, so the product in itself is absolutely amazing. I don't know whether you've driven a Tesla, but these things are groundbreaking. And the one that I have is now old, but it still does the job better than the day that I actually got it. It gets free software updates, and in general, I cannot fault the car. It has served me extremely well in the last 5 years. It hasn't put a foot wrong. So I was really drawn to the product and how it basically drove, how it made you feel, all of those intangibles that make you make purchases. And I have to be honest, when I bought this car, it was very much an impulsive buy. It was one of those things where I was doing really well in Canary Wharf at the time. I had a load of money burning a hole in my pocket, and I wanted a new car, so I went and bought this. The minute I test drove it, I literally had to have it. So the product in itself is a great product. I don't know anybody who has driven one of these and had one for an extended period of time, or even a short period of time, that doesn't immediately want to have one and keep one. And often between owners, new and old, there's always this conversation of, we don't know how we're going to go back to another car after driving one of these. So the product is amazing. The technology within it is amazing, and we're going to come on to that because that's one of the advantages that they actually have. So the product, first and foremost, was one of the reasons why I bought Tesla shares. The second reason why I bought Tesla shares is because I have a deep belief in the business. Owning this car has certainly given me an insight into the business, how it works, how it operates, the vision for the business, and being part of the owners group has really given me some insights into technology that's coming out, updates that they're running for the cars, new products, and so on and so forth. So I have a deep-rooted belief in the business. And it's not just about the product, it is about the vision overall. So with Tesla and Elon, his whole vision is to essentially accelerate the process by which we wean ourselves off fossil fuels. And for him, it's electric vehicles. He was thinking these things up when everybody thought that it wasn't possible. When concerns like you can't drive for 100 miles in an electric car was still a thing. Now the cars go up to 200, 300, even 400 miles on one of the new Model S's now. So I believe in the company and what they're looking to achieve. And you have to look at, you know, the management of the business as well, and I'll come on to this, but one thing that Elon did that I really admire him for was, in order for people like BMW and Audi and all these other manufacturers who are now bringing out electric vehicles, in order for them to catch up with them, with Tesla, he actually made available all of the patents so that other people could take the information and start to build cars of their own. And that has now bore fruit because you now have BMW, Audi, Porsche, and all these other car manufacturers now producing their own electric vehicles. So I have a deep-rooted belief in the company, and that could be my belief in the fact that Elon is just a mad scientist. He's a genius, but with him at the helm of the business, I believe that they have great growth in terms of what they're looking to achieve, because it isn't just about now, it is about the future. So another reason why I bought Tesla is because of the technology. And this is a really big point when it comes to this sector of the motoring industry, because they are part of a larger motoring industry, but they are essentially a tech company that basically manufactures cars. Technology is key. So with Teslas, one of the big arguments that you get, well, with electric cars in general, is the ability to drive long distances. So, and that's been something that Elon has been battling ever since the first Roadster came out, all the years back then. And with Tesla, they have incrementally increased and improve the battery technology to mean that you can actually drive further and further. Now, newer models are doing over 300 miles. Last week, they talked about a Model S, very similar to the one that I have here, with a 400-mile range. This technology is improving and improving as we go forward. Now, true story, last year, I did a road trip from the UK all the way to Stelvio Pass, and we went through Belgium, France, Germany, we went through Switzerland, and all the way back. That's 2,000 miles, and I supercharged every single stop of the way. Now, with my particular vehicle that I have here, I get free supercharging for life, and that will stay with the car whether I sell this on or not. But that is a huge strategic advantage. So technology, the technology in this car is so far ahead of anybody else or any other manufacturer. And that is one of the key reasons why the share value in this business is so attractive. And that's particularly important because when you think about this car being 5 years old, this will get constantly and regularly updates to the software. So one morning I might wake up and it's updated overnight and there's a new feature on the car, and they push these out across all of the Teslas. So from a technological point of view, it's not like a normal car where you buy it and it ages. With this, it updates and gets better with time, and that essentially improves the product. Whether you buy it today or whether you have it in 10 years time, there's a clear incremental improvement in the product. Now, on the technology side, you also have to consider things like the full self-driving capabilities that Tesla are developing. Now, in actual fact, that technology is actually finished, but legislation is still holding it up. And one of the things that is very, very attractive when buying Tesla for me is the fact that when legislation finally caps up to the full self-driving technology that is in these cars, the share price will rocket. And what that basically means is it will change the face of driving. You will literally be able to get into your car, it will take you to work, and what Elon is actually planning is it will take you to work, leave you at work, go off, do trips for you and earn money for you on the day, come back and pick you up. The full self-driving technology is available now. It works now. It's waiting on legislation. And there is an argument to say the minute legislation catches up, the share price will go through the roof. So that's another part of technology. The third bit, which I think is even more important, is the argument with electric cars is the fact that how long does it take to charge? Now, Tesla have developed an amazing infrastructure called the supercharging network, and that is available globally. Again, I traveled from here to Stelvio Pass in Europe, top of Italy, and supercharged every step of the way. I did not pay a penny. This is a big thing for electric vehicles. How quickly can you charge it? I can get a charge in this between 30 minutes and 40 minutes. So they're way ahead in terms of the infrastructure when it comes to the sustainability of their product and of the vision that they're building for the future. And that is one of the key reasons why I bought the business. But we also need to talk about Elon himself. I mean, management within a company, the leader of a company, is very important, and it's something that you should not miss. It's something that you definitely shouldn't overlook. Elon is essentially the lifeblood of Tesla, and his track record is amazing. I mean, he's the guy who invented PayPal, and he sold that off, and he went on to do other ventures, including Tesla. He is the guy behind SpaceX. If you could ever have anybody behind the business, he would be the guy that you would want. And yes, Elon isn't perfect. He has moments where he can be very spontaneous. He can go onto Joe Rogan's show, smoke a spliff, knock money off the share price. He can send a tweet, which he has done even 2 months ago, and knock 10% off the share price. But your management, the leader of the business, is a very important reason behind why you should buy a business. What is this person's track record? Do they have a history of building businesses and selling them on? What is their track record? Their management, leaders of a business are extremely important. And as for me, I do believe in Elon. He's a mad scientist. He's got visions grander than life. But sometimes, particularly when it comes to a company like Tesla, you need someone like that behind the helm who has conviction in their goals, conviction in their beliefs, to make something that has never happened before a reality. And he has a great track record of doing that. PayPal, SpaceX. I mean, look at what he's doing with SpaceX. It's absolutely amazing. So leaders in the business are a key fundamental thing that you need to bear in mind when you're buying a company. And as for me, Elon was a big draw as to why I bought Tesla. So let's talk about money, financials, because that's one of the key reasons why you should be buying a company. Are they making profits? How do they make profits going forward? Now, Tesla is a bit of a strange animal because ultimately Tesla is very highly leveraged. And the reason for that is because the motoring industry is an expensive sector to be in, and they are trying to bring new technology to bear. So when I say highly leveraged, it means that they have a lot of debt. So for me, when I look at Tesla, and this is one thing that you are going to have to make a decision on when you're doing your research on what companies you should buy, is your stance on their financials at any given time. Tesla has been a company that stock markets and stockbrokers have been betting against for years and years and years, because they didn't start to make profit until very, very recently. And again, when it comes back down to the leaders in the business, Elon has changed the way the traditional motor industry operates. So for example, you cannot go to a dealer and go and buy a Tesla. You have to go either to a Tesla showroom, which a lot of people don't actually do. I spoke to a Model 3 owner last week who ordered the car online, never sat in it, ordered it, configured it, paid for it, and it arrived 2 weeks later on, and he absolutely loves it. That introduces efficiencies. It introduces less overheads, and it also introduces the lack of need to pay people a commission in a dealership structure. They had a massive legal battle in America about this years and years ago. And you have to think about the product lineup. So what do they actually sell? Do they have new products coming online? With Tesla specifically, you've got the Model 3, which is the best-selling car in China right now. And China is a huge market, massive, massive market. You've got the Model Y, which is being released now as well, which is destined to be a huge, huge success. You've got the new Roadster, which is due to be delivered in a couple of years, which is rumored, and the special edition to do 0 to 60 in 1.1 seconds. You've got the Cybertruck. So it's all about products. What products do they have coming along? How in demand are these products likely to be? Again, one thing that Elon has done, and I speak about him a lot, and this is one of the reasons why I really admire him, is he does these exposés, these events where he introduced new products. So he just did one recently with the Cybertruck. He gets pre-sales from that, and this is a very, very clever way of doing things. So he has money in the bank already from pre-orders to actually produce the car. So these are important elements that you need to bear in mind, and you need to do research on all of these things before you buy shares. Ultimately, never buy a business that you don't understand. That's what it boils down to. That is Warren Buffett's main mantra. It's something that I certainly work with, and I only buy shares in businesses that I understand. I bought Tesla shares because I own the product. I absolutely love the product, and I believe in the company. I believe in Elon. I believe that share price could go up to $2,000, $3,000 a share. So when I buy Tesla, I'm buying it for the long run. I'm buying it because I believe that the share price is going to give me a very handsome return. And I believe that whilst Tesla may still be a little bit of a risky investment, some people will say there's competition coming from the big manufacturers. I think they have first movers advantage. They are so far ahead with battery technology, with charging infrastructure, with just self-drive and all these other things that he's got going on, that I think it's going to be difficult for BMW and the like to catch up. Many of you may disagree, but that is my belief, having owned this vehicle for 5 years and being in owners group and following a lot of the Tesla news. And this is the kind of stuff that if you are going to be picking stock, you need to know in order to invest wisely. So guys, a little bit of a different video today. It's the hottest day of the year here today, so I wanted to get outside, which is why I've done it here. But if you are looking to invest wisely, you need to consider those things. There's a lot more. I've tried to condense it down to the key points that I feel are strong, but again, only use this video as a basis to do further research. If you are the kind of person that still needs a bit more information, a bit more of an education, I cover a lot of this stuff in the investment course. There is a link to that in the description. I'm also going to pin it in the comment section. It's 4 chapters, 15 lessons, take you about 96 minutes to complete, but it will give you the foundation that you basically need as a first-time investor. But guys, by the way, you guys are amazing, because my podcast is now charting number 3 on Apple, and I cannot believe it. It's because of your support. So thank you so much. If you've not checked out the podcast already and you're new to this channel, that's the artwork right there. Please go check it out, and don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for videos every Friday. Have a great weekend. Catch you later.